start out this morning by focusing on our students, because it wouldn't be a great start to the year without hearing their voices first thing. So we're going to see a student clip, and we're going to have several student clips during the morning. And then after the student clip, we're going to welcome to the podium the Academic Assembly Chair, Ms. Joanne Carl, and the Staff Senate Chair, Ms. Julie Foster, for their opening remarks.
It's great to be back. I'm looking forward to seeing my former professor again. They make a big difference in my life. Thank to all of them for having me to reach my educational goals.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the fall opening meeting for the 2011 and 12 academic year. Welcome back to the faculty. I hope you're rested. And I think all of you get a little rest when the faculty's gone. So welcome back, and I hope everyone's a little bit rested. Thanks to everyone for attending this meeting. This is a great turnout. Your participation really helps. It's important for you to know what's going on and have a voice in what's going on. I've learned that because I've been involved in governance for 3 or 4 years now. And there's been a lot of talk about fine-tuning, and I think you'll see in a presentation later that we're working towards sort of fine-tuning the governance at the college to make it as participatory as possible. So think about being involved in things like that. And I want to tell you that the future of governance will be partially determined by you. So don't forget, watch for opportunities for input from you, and don't miss the chance to be a part of it. The makeup of the Academic Assembly now is faculty from all 3 campuses, workforce development, continuing education, staff, administrators. Part of the Academic Assembly is curriculum, faculty issues, and academic regs committees. And then the resource members, people that we really need to help with specific issues like IT and the libraries and distance education. So there's already a lot of participation. There's already a lot of representation on the Academic Assembly. And your Academic Assembly members represent you on different college governance boards like the Applications Advisory Committee and IT to make sure there's a faculty voice there. So there's a lot of ways that you can be represented through our government right now, our governance right now. But 2011, 2012 will probably be a year with some changes, much needed, and so I want to continue to urge your participation. I read a story about the Rock Creek Parkway being under construction, and they stopped the construction because a citizen who drives that route every day said, this isn't going to work. And they stopped after putting up the barriers. Not too much work had been done. And they said, let's rethink this. We made the plan 4 years ago. Let's stop and rethink this. And I think we should learn from that. I think that person just was a citizen or a user or a stakeholder, someone who really needs their voice heard. So let's take, there are going to be plans made for the near and the distant future. There's lots to take into consideration. So we all try to see it from different perspectives, and let's make sure that others see it from our perspective. I think that's very important. So watch what's going on, listen, and participate. That's my mantra for the year. And I'm happy to introduce now a colleague of mine who I've had a lot of respect for since we spent 2 long weeks together a couple of years ago at the Academic Leadership Program. We believe that MC works better when all the parts of the whole are consulted and included, and I think that's important. Staff Senate Chair, Julie Foster.
Thank you, Joanne. Good morning, everyone. As Chair of the Staff Senate, I would like to welcome staff to this morning's fall opening meeting. I'm so glad to see so many of you here today. Many of you might know that I've worked at the college for about 25 years, and I think this is the busiest I've ever seen the college. This summer has been no exception. Staff have been busy with everything from preparing for the opening of the opening of the Rockville Science Center to participating in several exciting college-wide initiatives. Today's fall opening meeting agenda allows us to take some time from our busy schedules to hear about what's happening around the college. I encourage all staff to attend the staff forum, which will take place here in the Performing Arts Center at 11 a.m. We have an informative hour planned for you, covering information concerning our new health insurance options and changes to the pension plan. Many of you that know that I've been here a while might recall that about 18 years ago, I also served as chair of the Staff Senate. And many people have been asking me, why in the world would you do that again? And it's a question I've been asking myself for the past couple of weeks. But the answer really is that this is the time. Now, with such exciting and transformative change taking place, now is the time to be engaged, involved, and aware. So I would like to say to staff, if it's been a while since you've served on a college-wide committee or been involved with the Staff Senate, now is the time to get involved. Realizing our vision as a national model for educational excellence will take all of us, each giving our very best. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce a former dean gone bad, our new Chief of Staff and Chief Strategy Officer, Dr. Stephen Kane.
Well, good morning. Today it's my privilege to welcome new employees to Montgomery College. New employees will learn that Montgomery College is a great place to work. You'll find that your colleagues will become like your family. We're starting a new tradition of recognizing all new employees at our opening meetings. I hope we've got all the names, and I'll do my best to honor each and every name with its correct pronunciation. The list you're about to hear is current as of today. If we've missed anyone, please email me personally, and I'll make sure we recognize you at the next college-wide meeting. As I read the names of new faculty, new staff, and new administrators, I ask that each person stand, and please remain standing. When all the names have been called, we'll welcome you to the Montgomery College family with a round of hearty applause. All right, you can follow along. Here we go. Sandra Aqua, Marjan Algaman, Laura Anna, Latifa Barnett, Arthur Besner, Keena Blackman, Judy Blumenthal, Kay Bosgraf, Yvonne Botello, Joseph Boiter, Gregory Canning, Mai Ching Chen, Carl Coleman, Cindy Cooper, David Cox, Aaron Eaton, Rebecca Eggenschweiler, Robert Fitzgerald, Andrea Foster, Robin Goldstein. They love you, but I've only begun to read. Andrea Georg, Shinta Hernandez, Courtney Johnson, Vedhem Karpakakunjaram, John Knudsen. They love you, Vedhem. Sudha Kunikrishnan, Orna Kutai, Valerie Lance, Christina Laval, David Lamond, Leonard Long, Buddhadeb Malik, Barbara Marshall, John McMahon, Timothy McWhirter, Alejandra Micardo, Driss Melauk, Robin Meyer, Milton Nash, Evelyn Oniozili. Mark Oram, Radhakrishna Himarazu, Luann Pingador, Tanya Powell, Steve Prince, Sahar Satarzadeh, Charlie Shaw, Jarvis Slacks, Dorothy Smith, Andrea Steelman, Judith Stone, Wei Sun, Kimberly Talley, Padmavathi Tangarala, Sunita Tirgarajan, Jaya Viswanatha Malya, Peter Voss, Candace Wallace, and Mazen Zaruk. Welcome to all of those full-time and part-time faculty, now new staff. Angelica Endon, Daniel Bloomgart, Mark Bolea, Kimberly Brown, Jared Butler, John Butler, Shalua Chen, Susan Dankoff, Gregory Davis, Angela Dawson, Jean Deutschu, Brent Edmonds, Irvine Edwards, Teresa Escobar, Alexander Gallen, Jerome Gatling, Nell Gibbs Langford, Alexander Godley, Veronica Gonzalez, Meryl Gavernsky, Kalisa Gross, Kathleen Harding, Yolandra Johnson, Shannon Kale, Brian LaPole, Beatrice Lauman, Galina Lubyanitskaya, Destiny Mann, John McNally, Timothy Milstead, Kamud bin Patel, Shaban Quinn, Alexander Rahimi, Wanda Ray Kanada, Kevin Redinger, John Savage, William Schuster, Colin Silvera, James Staskovich, David Taylor, Pamela Taylor, Justin Tusing, Heather Vizas, Lynette Weaver, Norman Wybush, Raymond Wilson Jr., Herbert Winkler, Vonda Wyatt, Chiching Yang, Felicia Zulsdorf. And finally, 3 new administrators, Unu Cheng, Kathy Jones, and Beverly Walker Graffia. Welcome, faculty, staff, and administrators to the Montgomery College family.
I want to let you guys know there are some seats in the front. If anyone doesn't feel like standing, just come on down and make yourselves comfortable. Okay then, good. It is now my pleasure to introduce the woman I like to think of as the other DP here at the college, our president, Dr. Darian Pollard.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, that is much better. We are getting this down. Now, I know that Deborah may have said this, the other D, but there are plenty of seats unless you all don't want it, because you got a little while to stand, and I want you to feel a little comfortable. So there's plenty of seats down front. Folks on the end, y'all can either do one of 2 things. You can move in, or you can stand up and let people walk through. So y'all want to come down, or y'all just going to stand back there? Y'all know I just keep it real. I am so excited that we're coming together as a college community to celebrate the start of an academic semester. I have to tell you, it's probably one of my favorite times of a college year. At our closing meeting, I went through a number of goals that I have for the college community, offering a roadmap of where we had been and where we are going. Today, though, I want to focus on one that we have checked off on our institutional to-do list. I'm proud of the fact that we have a new, uplifting, and memorable mission, vision, and value statement. Statements that will form the basis of our strategic planning process. But before the drum roll moment, when we officially unveil them, watch this video that I think shows a pitfall that we avoided that so many organizations fall into during the mission statement creation process.
I want to show you why most mission statements are so terrible. So let's say that you own a chain of pizza parlors, and maybe you have a mission statement that you've drafted, and it says something like, our mission is to serve the tastiest damn pizza in Wake County. Now that's pretty good, if you ask me. If I was one of your employees, I could get excited about that. But here's where things go off the rails. So you invite all your colleagues to come join you and to help you wordsmith this thing, and you all sit around a table, and right in front of your eyes, a transformation happens. All of these people who you like and respect suddenly become 10th grade English teachers and begin to nitpick every word of this thing.
Hey, I really like the word present better than serve. It has a nice resonance.
We obviously can't say damn. And why limit ourselves to Wake County?
And guys, I know our pizza is good, but what about the calzones and the salads? Why don't we just say highest quality Italian food?
Our Greek salad isn't Italian.
We haven't even talked about the atmosphere yet, the big comfy booths and the kids' birthday parties and all that.
Yeah, great point. You know what we're really doing here? We're providing a family entertainment solution.
Yeah, solution.
Nailed it.
And everyone's excited now. You're almost there. And then Steve at the end of the table pipes up.
Listen, guys, we haven't mentioned anything about integrity. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, integrity.
And is anyone at the table going to rise up and go to the mat against the word integrity being in the mission statement? Doubtful. So presto, that's in. And now here's your new and improved mission statement. Our mission is to present with integrity the highest quality entertainment solutions to families. I know this is a little bit silly, but you got to admit, this is what 99% of mission statements sound like. And now you know why. There's this cycle of making words more ambiguous and more fancy until all of the meaning, leaches out. Here's how to avoid that. 2 tips. Number 1, use concrete language. Great example comes from this fast-growing small business called Sonic Bids. Check this out. We want to help musicians get gigs and promoters book the right bands. We're a bunch of people who think that music can truly change the world and make it smaller and better. Now, I love that. I think it gives you a picture of exactly what they do and also gives you a hint why they might want to do that. And that brings us to the second point, which is talk about the why. Most mission statements are really long on statement and really short on mission. And the whole point of this is to talk about why you're doing what you do. You've got to talk about what makes you care. So let me give you a famous example from Johnson & Johnson. This is the first line in their credo. Our first responsibility is to the doctors, nurses, and patients, mothers and fathers, and all others who use our products and services. Well, all right. That's something that you could get out of bed to go do. Now contrast that with the guiding principles of ExxonMobil. Did you feel that? Just died reading that mission statement. So now you've seen why bad mission statements happen to good people, and I've given you 2 tips for avoiding that fate. If you're interested in learning more about writing a great mission statement, go to fastcompany.com/Heath. And in the meantime, I want to challenge you to do the impossible, to create a mission statement that says something. And one final hint, if it includes the word solution in it, you're not there yet. Thanks for watching.
We created, my friends, statements that say something, that encapsulate who we are in an inspiring way. But first, I want to say thank you to the Mission Task Force who spent much of the last year absorbed in this work. And let's give them a round of applause. So without further ado, listen to our students reading our new mission, vision, and core value statements.
Our mission.
We empower our students to change their lives, and we enrich the life
of our community. We are accountable
for our results.
Our vision.
With a sense of urgency for the future.
Montgomery College will be a national model of educational excellence,
opportunity,
and student success.
Our organization will be characterized by agility
and relevance as it meets the dynamic challenges facing our students and community. Our core values: excellence,
integrity,
innovation,
diversity, stewardship,
sustainability.
Montgomery College.
Endless possibilities.
Now, while I could spend a substantial amount of time talking about each of these statements, this morning I want to focus on our mission statement. We empower our students to change their lives, and we enrich the life of our community. We are accountable for our results. It is specific, uplifting, and has the added benefit of being 100% true. Moreover, it reflects the amazing complexity and significant responsibility Montgomery College has in the lives of our students and the community that we serve. Now, I want to break down this mission statement, if you'll allow me. We empower our students to change their lives. Students like Dennis, whose first attempt at college resulted in what he called a hiatus from my scholarly adventure. A decade later, driving down Rockville Pike kick-started, in his words, phase 2 of his life. Now Dennis works at a local hotel and conference center while pursuing a degree in hospitality management. Hoping to graduate in a few years, he writes, "I am getting a second chance to achieve, a second chance to believe, a second chance at life." And on a side note, in a blog that Dennis posted as a student blogger, he asked our college to be his Valentine. I guess the doors that our college helped him open sent his heart aflutter. But notice the words that we used here: helped him open. We didn't open them for him. And this is a crucial change in our mission statement. It does not say that we change lives, but rather we empower students to change their lives. We do not hand out degrees or certificates. We do not hand out passing grades. We do not hand out transfer opportunities. Our students, because of you in this room, each and every one of you who are watching also, develop the knowledge, confidence, and determination to change their own lives. We give them the power to do that for themselves. That is, in fact, our power as a college. By doing this, we enrich the life of our community. We are on our way to becoming one of the most relevant community colleges in this country. And what does this mean? It means that we listen to our community. We work in partnership with businesses to find out what they want in future employees. We become an economic development engine. We create a skilled workforce, provide high-wage jobs, and other intangible needs in our community. At the same time, we provide access to cultural activities organized by our students and our faculty and staff that go beyond the classroom experience. We invite intellectually challenging speakers to our campuses. We offer original concerts, art exhibits, and theater performances. We give back by serving food to the homeless, tutoring struggling children, and more. We enrich our community. Simply put, and a few of y'all have been asking me what relevant means. We are relevant because we are germane to the subject at hand. We are intentional and deliberate in honoring our social contract with our community. But the social contract does not end there. While we know that our work transforms lives, families, and communities, the acts of knowing and doing are no longer enough. We must show results. Hence, the third part of our mission, we are accountable for our results. A Middle States representative visited this summer and highlighted the need for greater accountability. Accountability is not just a buzzword, y'all. I'm here to tell you. It is our responsibility as educators and stewards of the taxpayers' resources. And accrediting bodies are not the only ones who have called, are calling, and will be calling for us to demonstrate outcomes. Accountability makes our mission real, and as such, it is an inherent part of who we are and who we aspire to be. It must become a part of how we operate on a visceral level. Part and parcel with holding ourselves accountable is changing the way we view ourselves. In fact, Middle States is already doing that. For the first time ever, just this past year, the organization recognized us as an institution, a single college. In the past, Middle States would view each campus individually, 3 campuses, 3 accreditation teams. But the interesting part about that, then they would write 1 report as an institution, but no more. Middle States now views us as 1 college, and we must do the same. As such, over the next year, you will hear and see me challenging us to be authentic in actualizing the 1 college consciousness. We must organize ourselves in ways that allow us to flourish as a single entity, having a number of separate moving parts. We are 1 college. And while I want each campus to retain its own sense of style, its own flavor, gone are the days of this is how we do it on this campus. Here are the days of saying this is how Montgomery College should, can, and will do things. Y'all catch that? This requires your buy-in, though, and commitment. Each and every one of you must look at your own actions under a microscope. We must consider the policy and practice implications of how we do business and align our actions with words. This requires active and engaged participation by all members of the college community, and I need your help. Now, many of you have heard me say that contrary to popular belief, I don't believe that Montgomery College has a communication problem. I think we have a participation problem. And that is what we will be addressing with the implementation of our new governance model, a system that provides an opportunity, and dare I say even a responsibility, for engagement by all in our decision-making process. Faculty, both full-time and part-time. Staff, both bargaining and non-bargaining. Students, both credit and non-credit. And our administrative team. One of my favorite movies illustrates this point for me. And the American president, President Shepard, explains our democracy requires advanced citizenship. With great privilege comes great responsibility. The right to be a part of a democracy comes with the responsibility to be actively engaged and to ensure that your voice is heard. This is the same for the students and employees of Montgomery College. The Blue Ribbon Task Force on Governance worked on this initiative last spring and developed a model. The task force consisted of representatives from across the college community, faculty, both full-time and part-time, staff, both bargaining and non-bargaining, administrators, campuses and WDCE, and students. The task force model was developed after open forums from across the college community, reviewing models from other colleges, and I have personally met with the leadership of the bargaining units and have heard their feedback as well regarding this model. The Board of Trustees has reviewed and endorsed the model. So it's time for implementation. I implore you to be engaged. I stand here asking for your voice. But moreover, I'm also making a promise to you to listen. This is one of the reasons I launched the SOS, or the Service Outreach and Support Initiative. I heard how you described your perceptions of or experiences with central administration, or should I just say, manicky. When I formed the SOS committee last year, the goal was to ensure that central administration is not an island, but rather a fully integrated, supportive, responsive aid to our campuses and locations, that we own our service role and take pride in it. So central administration is gone. Now we are central services. And that's not just semantics for a few of you in the room who are wondering about that. It's a change in orientation. And I guarantee you that you will see a difference in central services. And you'll hear more information about the SOS initiative in just a few minutes. And in the next several weeks, you'll hear yet about another way that I want you to get involved. I will be asking Dr. Beverly Walker-Graffia, our new Senior Vice President for Student Services, to assemble a broad, inclusive task force to craft the definition for what I call the common student experience. Now, the number one thing as I visit our campuses that I hear from our students kind of falls in this line. Why can't I get this service at this campus the way that I get it at that campus? Why can't I use this software at this campus that I have available at that campus? Why is it so different from campus to campus to campus? So let me be clear. I'm not asking for every campus to become a cookie-cutter model of each other, but rather I'm asking for us to become a Montgomery College chorus. Each campus retains its distinctive, unique voice, but the sum of those voices working in concert is much more powerful and has much more relevance. When blended together, there's consistency and cooperation. It is the epitome of harmonized experiences for our students that will create a significant experience for them at this college. We must, both in practice and principle, establish guidelines that ensure students' common needs are met in a consistent and equitable way on any of our campuses or locations, regardless of what campus they're at or location. There must be certain truths about all of our students that they can come to expect, regardless of campus, regardless of major, regardless of degree, certificate, or transfer goals. And I hope to revisit this concept in more detail at the spring opening meeting. So have I stressed to you my desire enough for each of you to be actively engaged in strengthening our institution? So yet again, I'm going to ask you for more. I told you before that I don't believe in playing small. And I believe that each of us has a responsibility to be actively engaged within the college. So I have 2 homework assignments for you all. Y'all ready? All right. Since our mission statement will be the foundation of our strategic planning process this year, its success depends on every member of the college community internalizing it and bringing it to life. So I want to know, what do these words mean to you? We empower our students to change their lives, and we enrich the life of our community. We are accountable for our results. Now, more on that in a moment. I believe in the power of mission statements. So I ask you to create your own personal mission statement. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. I have my own statement that I write every year and revise it in January. And I'm going to share with you a part of it that comes from the section on work-life balance, something I'm really working at. I will not engage in behavior or actions that compromise my values or my relationships. I will be honest about my abilities and strategically consider my movements and actions. More than anything, I want to be happy with my career, challenged by my work, and respected by those with whom I work. Now, by no means am I suggesting that I've reached this goal. In fact, I would probably offer to you that that's not possible completely. The essence of my mission is to constantly challenge myself for self-betterment so that I, in turn, can change and affect the community around me. To me, these are not just words. They are a frame of mind, a way of recentering myself and putting challenges in perspective. So where do you start? Dr. Stephen Covey, who has made mission statements his mission, says it's not just about inventing, but rather uncovering your mission. Quote, "You have a purpose in life. You know in your heart what's most important to you. In fact, your mission and values are expressed every day by how you live. You just may not know it or realize it. You live your mission every single day with every single action that you take. So when putting it on paper, make it resonate with your everyday life. You can think big by thinking small. You can think broad. You can write down a single word or 3 pages full of words. Your own mission statement is about you, but all will benefit when you articulate it. Living your own mission will help each of us live up to our common mission. So this brings me to my second assignment. Tell me how you live our Montgomery College mission. I like you when you came in. I hope you picked up a postcard. We call these mission moment postcards. And on your way out, I'd like you to get one and write down a few sentences that breathe life into our mission statement. I plan on reading every single one of these. Tell me a story about a life that you have empowered for change. Tell me a story about how you have enriched the life of our community. Tell me an example of how you have been accountable for our results. As we embark on our new school year, I challenge you to think about how our new mission statement syncs with your own personal mission. I challenge you to be an active architect in defining and shaping the future of this phenomenal institution. I challenge you to be deeply engaged, to be willing to be both excited and uncomfortable from time to time as we stretch into the organization that makes our vision statement a reality. Most of all, I challenge you not to be afraid to shine. I hope that you have a phenomenal semester, and I look forward to seeing many of you as we continue our celebrations today. Take care.
We are now going to see a short video that gives us a little bit more information about the new SOS initiative.
Well, hello ladies. Thank you for coming in to see me. I wanted to spend some time with you all to ask you to take on a special initiative for me, one that I'm calling SOS.
Say goodbye to sponges. This is the only cleaning product you'll ever need. It's tough on grime every time and returns your cooking wear to brand new.
SOS. Isn't that a scouring pad?
No, that's not what I mean by SOS, Susan.
I'll send that SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle. A year has passed since I wrote my note.
SOS, isn't that a distress signal?
Oh, no. That's not what I mean at all. I mean service, outreach, and support. SOS, get it? The reality about it is that I think we have phenomenal staff in our central services who provide, I think, really outstanding support. However, the perception oftentimes on our campuses is that's not the case. So at this point, the intent is really to take great ownership in providing excellent customer service, being responsive to the needs of the community, and demonstrating that we're here to support what happens on the campuses. So I'm very excited about that. I'm so excited that I'd like to ask the two of you to take some leadership in that.
We'll adopt a service creed cementing already best practices and services.
Service outreach and support. Montgomery College employees promote a welcoming, supportive environment that empowers students and each other.
Let's redesign the Manatee lobby to create a more welcoming, service-oriented environment.
We'll use capital budget funds, not operating funds.
We'll plan activities and events that will promote service and build morale among our central service providers.
We will encourage and recognize peer-to-peer service.
And let's create some professional development opportunities to expand our SOS horizons.
We'll find ways to be more sensitive about academic rush times. We'll populate everyone's Outlook calendar with all those important dates.
We'll create a communications website so everyone will know about the SOS initiative, and there will be a feedback form on there so you can let us know how we're doing.
Get on board with SOS!
As Dr. Pollard indicated in her remarks, this will be a year with great opportunities and great challenges. One of the most promising opportunities will be the restructuring of our governance system, a process that is particularly important in light of all the important work we have to do this year. The good news, of course, is that our new governance process will include more voices, more perspectives, and more chances to participate. It is now my pleasure to introduce the co-chairs of the Governance Task Force, Ms. Amy Crowley, Ms. Jennifer Palm, and Dr. Brad Stewart, to brief you on their work.
Good morning, everyone. We're pleased to be here with all of you at our fall opening meeting. We're here to share Montgomery College's new governance model, which was created by the President's Blue Ribbon Task Force on Governance last spring. The model has been vetted and approved by Dr. Pollard, endorsed by the members of the Board of Trustees, and we are now getting geared up to begin the implementation process. The new model is a product of a lot of hard work by an amazing group of faculty, staff, students, and administrators. Would the Task Force on Governance members please stand so we can recognize you?
Thank you. Here's how it all started. This is the charge put to the Task Force on Governance by Dr. Pollard. I know it's a little bit hard to read, so I'll read the three we found most pertinent for you. All constituent groups within the college have a vested interest and a role in ensuring that the college fulfills the mission under the authority and direction of the Board of Trustees and under the leadership of the President. Participatory governance is a method of organized and collegial interaction in which faculty, staff, students, and administrators participate in thoughtful deliberation and the decision-making process, leading to recommendations made to the college president, who represents the administration of the college as an agent of the Board of Trustees. And number 4, mutual agreement is the goal to be achieved through active participation and collegial interaction by all constituent groups. Here's the charge. Number 1, to examine the existing system of governance at the college and develop a set of recommendations for restructuring it into a system that is inclusive and participatory. Number 2, to develop a set of procedures that is in support of and consistent with board policy, and can also be used as guidelines for implementing the restructured plan. You've just seen the Board of Trustees policy there that it's consistent with. The implementation plan is what we'll be working on this semester, along with number 3, developing a set of evaluation tools for the model. And as you can see, Dr. Pollard's charge is firmly rooted in that Board of Trustees policy.
So we've designed a model of participatory governance. Here is the formal academic definition and characteristics of a participatory model. Let me translate. First, it's inclusive. That means everybody at the college has a seat at the table: faculty, staff, students, and administrators. Second, the model is advisory. Everyone has a seat at the table. Everyone talks about the relevant policies and agenda items, and then they eventually make a recommendation to Dr. Pollard and the Board of Trustees. It is an advisory model, not a decision-making model. So make sure you keep that in mind. Third, it is a consensus-seeking model. We seek mutual agreement in a system of participatory governance. So everybody talks about the decision, we come to a mutual decision, and then everybody supports the decision. There's no back-channel communication about how, sure, I was in on the decision, but I didn't like it, and here's the real scoop. Everybody moves forward in supporting the decision once it's made, and that's participatory governance.
So at the beginning of this process, the members of the Task Force on Governance researched participatory governance models at educational institutions of similar size and scope to Montgomery College in order to obtain an understanding of the possibilities that already existed and to provide us with a framework for our own governance model. Early in the process, we held 2 open forums on each campus to gather ideas from faculty, staff, students, and administrators about what you believe was important to include in our new governance model for MC. That information informed our discussion about how to start building a model of governance for the college. And the major themes we heard at these open forums included inclusion, timeliness and communication and decision making. We heard about a local way to contribute through a campus-based structure, the need for open and transparent process with built-in review procedures, and we heard you wanted one unifying body or council.
So here's the model. Let me walk you through it. This is what we refer to as a hybrid governance model. What we mean by that is that there is representation by all groups at multiple levels. At the constituent level, found along the bottom, at the work function level, found at the right-hand side, and at the constituent level found on the left, and at the campus or location level down at the bottom. In accordance with our charge to develop an inclusive model, this structure reflects representation from every constituent group. Students, staff, both bargaining and non-bargaining, faculty, both full-time and part-time, and administrators from all locations in the college are represented in the structure, including groups that have been previously underrepresented or not represented at all. The task force identified 4 major functional areas of the college, aligned with the administrative responsibilities of the senior vice presidents. We then created a council made up of faculty, staff, students, and administrators to focus on governance issues in each of these areas. Because Montgomery College is one college with different campuses and locations, each with unique programs and features, the task force created 4 local councils composed of faculty, staff, students, and administrators. Each of these councils serves in an advisory capacity to the campus vice president and provost on governance issues.
The members of each council are elected by those they represent, and that's a very key point. Faculty members elect the members of the faculty council and the faculty members of the functional and campus councils. Staff members will elect the members of the staff council and the staff members of the functional and campus councils. The same is true for students and for administrators. The chair of each of the 12 councils will serve on the college council. The 2-way arrows you see on a model indicate something very, very important. Two-way communication is expected between the college council and each of the other councils. Timely, two-way, and cross-functional communication between councils is crucial to the functioning of this model. The College Council provides opportunities for cross-functional discussion and collaborative governance discussions before making recommendations to the President and the Board of Trustees. Recommendations will flow from the constituent, functional, and campus councils to the College Council and ultimately to the President and the Board of Trustees. You should also notice that the model provides a direct channel of communication between the President and the collective bargaining units if you look in the upper left-hand corner. The structure of the model also allows its effectiveness to be assessed on a number of levels. Assessment tools can be applied to each of the functional, constituent, and college campus councils. The overall effectiveness of the model can be determined by assessing the functioning of the College Council. Next, the Council also provides the opportunity for a significant increase in the number of people who will now participate in the governance of the college. All 13 of the Council's meetings will be subject to state open meeting laws as well. So there's all kinds of chances for transparency and participation. And finally, if you see the box up there that says President's Executive Council on it, you'll notice that there is no cabinet on the model. This model eliminates the President's cabinet and instead substitutes the PEC as the primary senior level advisory body for the college.
Members of the College Council are the elected representatives from each one of the constituent, functional, and campus councils. The Chief of Staff, Chief Strategy Officer, is the convener of the College Council, whose membership comes from the representation of the chairs of each of the 12 councils. This came in handy. We have 4 constituency councils in the model. Each of these 4 councils is chaired by one of the elected representatives from within the council membership. The Student Council's membership is comprised of students representing the 3 campuses and WDCE. The Staff Council model. The Staff Council's membership is comprised of both bargaining and non-bargaining staff from across the college. The Faculty Council. The Faculty Council's membership is from adjunct and full-time faculty, department chairs, and appropriate academic committee representation. And the 4th council, the Administrators Council. Well, currently it shows all administrators. However, we may need to have further discussion on this as we move along in the implementation of the model.
The Germantown, Rockville, and Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus councils will serve in an advisory role to the campus vice president and provost, who is also the convener of the council. The campus council's membership will include full-time, part-time, and counseling faculty, as well as staff, students, and representation from the library, IT, and administrators. The WDCE Council will function to advise the WDCE vice president and provost, who will also convene the group. This council has membership from staff, instructors, students, administrators, and IT. There are 4 functional councils. The membership for each of the functional councils will come from across the college and will include students, staff, faculty, and administrators, and WDCE. The first is the Employee Services Council. This council is convened by the Senior Vice President for Administrative and Fiscal Services. Possible agenda items include employee engagement, human resources, wellness, professional development, equity and diversity, and student employment. The Operational Services Council is also convened by the Senior Vice President for Administrative and Fiscal Services. Possible agenda items for it include auxiliary services, facilities, security, IT, and budget and services and payroll. The Academic Services and Quality Council will be convened by the Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs. Suggested council agenda items include academic support services, library, distance learning, accreditation, honors and scholars, and the calendar and scheduling. The final functional council is Student Services and Success, and it will be convened by the Senior Vice President for Student Services. As with all of the functional councils, its membership again comes from staff, students, administrators, faculty, and WDCE. Possible agenda items include financial aid, enrollment management, counseling and advising, disability support services, and student life.
Now, I heard a few of you express a little bit of frustration while you were trying to write down all of these slides. Please don't worry about that. This PowerPoint presentation, along with the report of the model, will be available on both of our website for the governance implementation process and on Dr. Pollard's website as well. So here's the work ahead of us for this year, and here's where we need each and every one of you to figure out how to help us. So the work ahead is a communications plan. We've already tapped Dave Sears and the folks in institutional advancement to help us there, but we'll need help from everyone at the college to develop a communications plan for the new model. We need a constitution and a set of bylaws. So those of you who that's your thing, we need to hear from you. You'll hear from us about finding a way to help us volunteer to create a constitution for the governance system and a set of bylaws for each of the councils. What else is up there? Training for all of you who are going to participate in the governance process. And we've already asked Mike Russell from IT for some help. We hope to put this training online to make it easy to get to everyone who's going to participate. Because if you've counted up the numbers on these campus councils, you've already figured out that there will be hundreds of people participating in the new model. And we need to train each and every one of you, including the members of the Board of Trustees. I can't quite read the angle there, Amy. What's the next one? Assessments. This is the age of assessment, not the age of Aquarius any longer, as the folks from Middle States have been telling us. And so each part of the model is accessible. Is that a word? We designed it with that idea in place. And then there's going to be elections. And it's fortunate that that Dr. Pollard is from Chicago, where they're famous for running very good elections. Because we're going to be running a lot of elections in a very big hurry early in the spring semester. We're going to need a lot of help. We're going to convene the councils as the members of the implementation task force. And then we're going to go to a spa or an institution, and you'll see Jenny and Amy and I and the members of the task force sometime about a year from now. And information, and Jenny has a beginnings of a wonderful website. You've seen her mad PowerPoint skills in the presentation. She's also a web design guru, and here's the beginning of the implementation website. And there'll also be information on the president's website, and we'll communicate with you in a number of different ways besides using technology as we do this implementation.
So our final thought on the model that we want to leave with you is that the guiding force for the governance structure will be the college's mission and vision statements and strategic and academic master plans. Now is the time for you to begin your role in the participatory governance process. Thank you.
It's been a great experience participating in the Student Senate. I'm really proud to be elected president at Rockville. When I'm finished at MC, I know that my credits will transfer. Thanks, Montgomery College.
One of the challenges that we face this year, the periodic review report, should also be an opportunity for us. With increasing pressure from external agencies, now is the time for us to step up our game when it comes to accountability and measuring our success. It is now my pleasure to introduce the co-chairs of the Middle States Committee, Dr. Eric Benjamin and Dr. Sharon Fechter, who will talk about their work this upcoming year.
Well, good morning, everybody. If it's Middle States, here I am to make you sick for the next 2 years, as I did a few years ago. And here with me is Karen Rose. Wait a minute. You're not Karen.
Actually, after all the hard work that you and Dr. Roseberry put in on their 2008 Middle States self-study, I completely understand the error, and I also take it as a compliment. I also suggest to everybody in the room, if you get a chance, go online and review our 2008 Middle States Commission of Higher Education self-study. Now, the Middle States Commission of Higher Education is our primary accreditation agency. It provides peer-reviewed evaluation for colleges and universities along the Mid-Atlantic region. Our status with Middle States Commission of Higher Education permits us to accept, it's one of the things that allows us to accept federal money. It's also one of the things that makes sure our credits are transferable. Now, the periodic review report. It's a tool that assesses the quality and it's a tool that assesses the quality and quantity of Montgomery College as an institution. Not only does it look at what we've done in the past, but it links assessment to our current programs to make sure they are effective, viable, and consistent with the Middle States Commission 14 standards. It also serves as a blueprint that serves to guide to help the college get to where we want to be in the near future as a college of our community.
What are the goals and objectives of the periodic review? Well, I think that you can see them for yourselves, but primarily it's to gauge our progress against what we say are our goals, our mission, our vision, and our core values. It's also to assure the current and future viability of the institution in light of major developments and in light of the standards. But the big kahunas, accountability, part of our new mission statement and definitely part of the accreditation standards by which we will be judged. Let me give you a little bit of history here. Early in the 2000s, around 2002, the Middle States Commission on Higher Education revised the accreditation standards to put much more emphasis on accountability, on evaluation, on linking, planning, and budgeting, but particularly upon assessment of institutional effectiveness and assessment of student learning outcomes. By 2006, they had strengthened these standards. Now, almost a decade later, they expect us to have closed the loop on evaluation. That is, to evaluate, to assess that evaluation, and to use those results for institutional improvement. So that's where we need to be by the time we write this report, if we're not there now. You'll notice also that we have an increased, within the periodic review report, we have an increased emphasis on Standard 2. We are required to very clearly link strategic planning along with budgeting. And going forward, we'll have to provide budgeting 3 years out to meet this Middle States understanding. Just a quick reminder, the standards at a glance, please note which one is highlighted here. Standard 7, institutional assessment, has become the Uber standard. Yes, I love languages. Previously, 7 and 14 were sort of equal. Institutional assessment now encompasses everything, so we must be improving ourselves on every level. 14 hasn't gone anywhere, though, ladies and gentlemen. Student learning outcomes. Do they matter? Yes. Do we need to be using the results to improve instruction, to enhance student learning? Absolutely.
Now, the periodic review report is not a mini self-study. It will not go through each of the 14 standards individually, but again, we will be focusing on standards 2, 7, and 14. Linking planning, resource allocation, and institutional renewal, institutional assessment, and one more time, assessment of student learning. Also with the periodic review report, there won't be a visit by teams of Middle State reviewers. Now, what the periodic review report will do, it ensures that we have an objective plan to do what we say we're doing. It also ensures that Montgomery College will continue to be relevant in the future, consistent with our objectives and middle state standards. Now, the periodic review report. Dr. Pollard will write the executive summary. Homework already.
Someone will write the executive summary, but the executive will approve it.
Now the second part will be a summary of the recommendations from our 2008 self-study. This will be a very, very short section because we didn't have any recommendations from that study. The next section will focus on what we see as our opportunities and challenges. We will see where our enrollment and finances are going in the future. And again, I really want to stress the last two. Do we have an objective way of assessing student learning and ways to improve it when necessary? Also, is our budget financially sustainable for the things that we want to accomplish?
Well, where are we? Right here, right now, fall 2011. By week's end, we will have our design completely finalized and ready to go. We will spend the first part of this semester collecting essential data. Our work groups have been established, and they are the worker bees. They will spend this semester organizing data, doing research. So again, when they call on you, don't run away. Spend some time with them. They need to talk to you and to complete their research. Also this fall, we will research, we will write, we will communicate. I promise you really will be sick of both Eric and me by the time this is over. Next spring, we're going to write our draft. We're going to conduct an institution-wide review of the draft, and we are going to get your comments, so please participate. During the summer, we will be busy bees ourselves, preparing the final draft based on feedback. Next fall, the executive summary is prepared, the certification statements, and we will continue to communicate. In spring, it's finalized, it goes to you, it goes to the president, it goes to the board, and finally, it goes to the commission in June of next year. In the fall, the commission takes action, so it is a little bit behind the self-study timeline. These days, it is very uncommon for an institution not to have some kind of follow-up action, often in the area of assessment.
Now, the coordinating committee for the periodic review report is charged with facilitating the overall process and effort for the periodic review. Now, we will be operating under the Office of Planning and Institutional Effectiveness. And as you can see, the coordinating committee will consist of a combination of faculty, students, staff, and administration. Now, the actual work on the standards and the actual work on the major sections of the coordinating committee will take place in work groups. The first work group will look at identifying majors and challenges that we'll be facing in the future. We will also look at enrollment and financial trends, both currently, 3 years previous, and 2 years into the future. Also, as it shows up again, organize and sustain processes, student learning outcomes. And the final working group will look at linking together our planning objectives and our budgeting process.
Well, how can you participate? There will be many ways, I assure you, but please spend some time looking at the standards, following our progress on the periodic review. If you would like to participate or help one of the work groups, please contact the chair of that work group. You will be more than welcome. There is plenty to do, I assure you. Please participate in our conversations. Give us our feedback so that we can incorporate it into the drafts. And contact either Eric or myself.
It's a compliment.
If you would like to participate, and I promise that we will find a way to include you. I have one final piece. I have a thank you, and I have a disclaimer. Blanca Cervantes made this PowerPoint so pretty, and she's one of our great students who works in our office in the Department of World Languages and Philosophy, and we assure you that no standards were harmed in the construction of this PowerPoint. Thank you.
My experience at Montgomery College has been great. It's gotten me an internship here in the Office of Special Events, which has been a wonderful experience and a great start in event planning. I'm really looking forward to the new semester and all the opportunities it will bring.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the Vice President and Provost of Rockville campus, Dr. Judy Ackerman.
If it's my turn, it must be almost the end of the program. We're staying pretty much on time, and we're still morning, so delighted to be here. The Rockville campus, as always, enjoys hosting the college community for the fall opening meeting. For those of you who are new, please know that we do rotate the location of these meetings, and you'll get to come to all 3 campuses this year, which is a lot of fun. Whether this is your first college opening meeting or your 21st, the fall convocation is a tradition we anticipate. It marks the unofficial end of summer and the imminent start of fall classes and the academic year. It's somewhat bittersweet to see some of our leisure time fade away as schedules fill up very quickly. However, there is such wonderful energy that happens when we get together as a college community, and that's why it's hard to get everyone to come in, because we're really catching up out in the lobby. I'd like to acknowledge all the people who work on a meeting like this. It doesn't happen just overnight. And so for the planning committee for today's activities, the presenters, and everyone else who contributed to the success of this meeting, could we give them a round of applause? Last week, the campus started to feel like it was really gearing up. Summer session classes were ending, the stripes in the parking lot were getting repainted, more and more students were in line in the counseling and advising building and in the financial aid office, and faculty who I haven't seen all summer were coming back to campus to get their offices in shape. It really is good to see the campuses come alive. They're really too quiet for my taste in the summer. I continue to find myself in rapt attention when our wonderful and no longer brand new, and I was introducing her as the brand new president a lot of last year, approaches a microphone anywhere, because the words will sound familiar to you. When Dr. Pollard speaks, people listen. Although I served on the mission group, I was energized by her message about the mission, and I hope you were too. It's clear we have lots of work to do this year, preparing for our Middle States Periodic Review, strategic planning, working on the completion agenda, implementing a new governance structure, curricular revisions, professional development, outreach, resource management, just to mention a few. And it's tiring just reading that list. It's a lot, but if each of us gets involved and does our part, we can do it together. Do you know what else we need to do as a community together? 2 words: have fun. Although we have lots of work to do, we also need to be sure we make time for play. It's important to balance work with life's many pleasures. Albert Einstein said, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." So let's keep moving by making connections with one another across departments, units, campuses. We can do this by getting involved, sharing research and best practices, working on special projects and committees, or just meeting one another for lunch to get better acquainted. After all, we share a common bond, helping our students, empowering our students as they define success. Now, did you happen to notice the great, new, large, green, incredibly cool building across the way out there? Anyone who wants to suggest some additional superlatives and adjectives, I'm open to them, because it's a wonderful building. It's been a very long time in coming, and we're so excited finally to have a science center for our campus. All of the biology, chemistry, physics, geoscience, and engineering classes will be held there starting next week. You should have gotten your email invitation to the dedication of this marvelous building. It will take place on Friday, September 23rd at 10 a.m. If you can come, please RSVP. We'd love a great turnout. If you can't come on the 23rd or just want to check it out before then, I invite you to take a stroll through it. It's absolutely fabulous. The theme for the arts this year is Intersections, where art meets science, in celebration of the sciences and the new Science Center and the new Science Center that will be coming at Germantown in a couple of years. There are a full array of lectures, exhibits, and performances on this theme throughout the college, and I hope to see you at some of these events. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the work that each of you do to empower our students and to support the college and community each day, whether you're a staff member, a faculty member, or an administrator. Your contributions do make a difference, and I thank you for all that you do. So the rush begins. Let's pace ourselves and make sure we take time to reflect and have fun. Join me in embracing the words of the playwright Lorraine Hansberry, "Never be afraid to sit a while and think." So enjoy the rest of your day on the Rockville campus and have a great semester. Thank you.
Okay, I have announcements. So before you start zipping up your backpacks, here we go. You know, and I've been so good. I was just wondering if instead of announcements, we could do charades or something. Have the deans come act them out. You could guess what they, okay, fine, never mind. Okay, so immediately following this, there is a meet and greet in the lobby. And then the staff should please return to this theater for the staff forum, which is for the college-wide staff, and you're going to be talking about the following college initiatives: consumer-driven healthcare options and pension changes. It'd be fun to see somebody act that out, you know, like in charades. Updates on the new P&P changes affecting non-bargaining staff. Maybe not so fun for charades. Okay, the faculty discipline meetings and the SEIU meeting locations are on the back cover of your printed program. And we do have maps out in the lobby for anyone who's new to the Rockville campus so that you can find your respective meetings. For lunch, the Marketplace Grill is set up near the campus center. You can eat there between 11 and 2 for the special tax-included price of $5. You can also eat in the cafeteria if you would like. They're offering their new fall semester menus. And the best news, credit and debit cards are accepted. It's really good. Also, an announcement about the bookstores. In the spirit of textbook affordability, the MC Books and More is having an event called Text-O-Rama. So that'd be fun to act out. This means that at all the bookstores and the Capers Art Store, on Tuesday from 10 to 4, all new and used textbooks are 10% off. So if you have any contact with students this week, let them know. Go get their books on Tuesday. And all art supplies at the Capers Center store will be 20% off. So let them know if you can ahead of time about that. Okay, thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of your day.